Welcome, fellow deceivers and masters of the shadowed path. Today, we unravel the enigma of MI6, an entity as shrouded in mystery as our own tales. Let's commence by shedding some light on the art that binds us.
Ah, the great game. There's an allure to MI6 that transcends time, a dance of shadows and light. In my day, charm and wit were as potent as any cipher. This agency, it's a player that knows the value of both the seen and the unseen.
The true essence of our craft lies in devotion to one's country. MI6's founding principles mirror my own creed, sacrifice and patriotism. These are not mere words, but the very lifeblood of intelligence work.
Anticipation stirs within me as we prepare to delve into the clever machinations of MI6. My experiences during the war between the states taught me the power of quick thinking and audacity, traits I believe we'll find at the heart of MI6's story. The evolution of our trade, from rudimentary signals to the complex web we navigate today, demonstrates MI6's pivotal role in shaping the modern theater of espionage. I look forward to exploring the multitude of layers in its operations.
Reflecting on the global chessboard of the early 20th century, MI6 emerged as a crucial player. Its inception was no accident, but a strategic imperative. The world stage demanded it, and like us, it adapted, evolved, and thrived in the murky depths of intrigue.
Let's not don rose-tinted spectacles, though. MI6, much like us, operates in the grey. It's a world where allegiances are as fluid as the information that slips through our fingers.
True, Kim. Yet the romance of espionage, the cloak and dagger, it's what draws many to our fold. MI6 mastered this allure, using it as both shield and sword.
Romance? No, Mata. It's about the unwavering fight for one's homeland. MI6's labyrinthine endeavors, though cloaked in secrecy, serve a noble end: protection and preservation.
Both of ye speak truth, but miss the mark. It's the cunning, the ability to outfox the enemy that sets MI6 apart. Just as I eluded capture, they weave through the shadows, always one step ahead. Cunning, yes, but let's not overlook the grit and the relentless pursuit of innovation. MI6 didn't just adapt, they pioneered, transforming the very essence of espionage.
Innovation born of necessity. The geopolitical tumult demanded a player like MI6, striking from the shadows, a nation's silent guardian. Yet their legacy is not merely one of triumph, but also of betrayal and shadow wars.
Betrayal, a thread that binds us all, whether for ideology or survival. Each maneuver and countermove by MI6 reflects the complex morality of our vocation. As we dissect their history, let's not shy away from the darkness that accompanies our trade.
Aye, the darkness is where we truly come alive, where intrigue blossoms. MI6, with all its secrets, stands as a testament to the enduring art of espionage.
Let's delve into the crucible years, the era that forged MI6 into the clandestine colossus it is today. Mata, you pranced through the shadows of Europe during an era of emerging spy networks. Compare, if you will, your espionage exploits to those fledgling steps of MI6.
Ah, the dance of deceit was much the same, though I dare say draped in far more glamour in my day. The early operations of MI6, they were about threading needles in the dark, much like I did. But my methods had a personal flair, a seduction of secrets. MI6, they were and are a bit more institutional in their approach.
Institution or not, it's the fervor of liberty that propels such operations. MI6's inception was no mere reaction. It was a clarion call to preserve the sanctity of nations. My own endeavors were cut from the same cloth, the defense of one's homeland at any cost.
While passion for country is commendable, let's not romanticize the beginnings too much. MI6 was, and remains, a necessity born out of pragmatism. The world stage demanded a player who could maneuver in the shadows effectively. Their early days, while certainly not without missteps, laid the groundwork for a century of pivotal intelligence work.
Indeed, the chessboard was set long before many of us took to the game. The geopolitical turmoil of the early 20th century necessitated a body like MI6, a shadow arm of diplomacy and defense. Their foundational years weren't just about building an institution. They were about shaping the very idea of modern espionage.
A grand point, yet we must acknowledge the darker arts of our trade. Betrayal, deception, were these not as instrumental to MI6's endeavors as they were to each of us in our own operations?
Essential, darling Kim, but as you well know, Betrayal is as much an art as seduction. One might argue MI6, in its infancy, finessed the act of treachery to a high art. My performances might have captivated audiences, but MI6, they captivated nations.
There's no honor in deceit, yet I concede its utility. The embryonic stages of MI6 saw it wield these darker tools with a discerning hand, a necessary evil wielded for the greater good.
Let's not drape too noble a cloak over these machinations. MI6's early days, like my own escapades, were as much about outwitting the enemy with guile and gumption as they were about grand ideals. Sometimes the pen is dipped in poison rather than ink, and the truth is but a pawn in a larger game. Point taken, yet it's the adoption of those very tactics, ones we've all employed to various ends, that allowed MI6 to evolve. Its initial operations were crude by today's standards, but the essence of espionage, gathering the unseen, moving the immovable, was refined in those early years.
A refinement that continued through the decades. MI6's strategic evolution is a testament to its ability to adapt, whether facing the open wounds of a war-torn Europe or the silent, chilling drafts of the Cold War that followed.
A spirited discussion, indeed. The cradle years of MI6, marred by the same moral ambiguities and strategic necessities that define our own tales. Its evolution, like our own stories, is a patchwork of shadowed triumphs and moral compromises, an entity shaped by the very nature of secrecy and survival. Let's delve into the heart of darkness that was World War II, a playground for those with a fine taste for secrets and shadows. Belle, your Civil War adventures paled in comparison, didn't they?
Don't be too quick to judge, Kim. The principles of subterfuge and guile are timeless. My exploits during the Civil War might have been on a different stage, but the script was the same. We laid the groundwork for what MI6 perfected during the Second Great War.
But let's not forget the price of these shadow games. It costs not just the lives of the brave men and women on the battlefield, but also those who lurk in the shadows. Their sacrifices, often unsung, were pivotal.
Sacrifice, Nathan? A quaint notion, perhaps, but we're talking about the chessboard of geopolitical strategy here. MI6's intelligence didn't just assist in battles. It shifted entire campaigns, forging alliances and breaking Axis powers from within.
Rich, you're not wrong, but let's not overlook the ingenuity it demanded. MI6 had to be several steps ahead in a constantly evolving theater of war. The operations weren't just about brute force, they were a masterclass in innovation and adaptation.
A masterclass, indeed, Virginia. Yet, one can't help but marvel at the irony. In our quest to outwit the enemy, we became reflections of each other. Espionage, after all, is a dance with shadows.
Shadows that seduce as much as they conceal. War, espionage, it's all a performance. A deadly one where the stakes are nations and lives. MI6 knew this better than anyone.
And let us not forget, the end justified the means. The intelligence MI6 extracted and deciphered, be it from Enigma or double agents, it not only changed the tide of war, but defined the future of global espionage.
Justify? No noble end can justify treachery and deceit as virtues. Our cause, our fight for liberty and country, that's what should define us, not the underhanded tactics that...
Noble? Perhaps. Effective? Doubtfully. Nathan, your ideals are commendable, yet in the grand theater of war, it's the cunning and the crafty that turn the tide. MI6's operations, their strategic brilliance, were paramount.
Intriguing, isn't it? How the spectre of war reveals the core of our being, whether we choose to fight with honor in the light, or weave our fates in the dark, unseen. MI6, in its vast array of operations, was unafraid to plunge into those depths.
It's that very plunge, Kim, that reshaped the world. Our methods, dark though they may be to some, brought light to engulfing shadows. The work of MI6 wasn't just necessary, it was vital for the dawn of peace.
A dawn bought with secrets and lies. Let's never shy away from that truth. Our business, after all, is in the currency of deception. MI6 mastered that currency during World War II.
Mastered, indeed. As we weave through successes and moral quandaries alike, it's clear that the spirit of espionage is complex. In balancing the scales of war, MI6 became both the sword and the shield. Virginia, Rich, Marta, Belle. So, we slip from the shadows of World War II, each carrying our truths and our deceits. Yet, the legacy of MI6's silent warriors endures, etched not only in history but in the very essence of modern espionage. Let's tread forth, shall we? The Cold War, a shadow theatre where every light cast long spies' silhouettes. I lived it, breathed it. Let's delve into MI6's cloak and dagger games during this period. Virginia, your thoughts on the clandestine operations and their innovations, shall we say?
Indeed, Kim. The Cold War demanded a level of adaptability and daring that was unparalleled. MI6's operations went beyond the conventional cloak and stab. It was about electronic ears, eyes in the sky. Secrecy was paramount, but so was innovation. The development of espionage technology during this time was nothing short of revolutionary.
Revolutionary, you say? All to keep one step ahead of the adversary. And you, Rich, always had a unique perspective on strategic importance. Share it.
During the Cold War, intelligence wasn't just about gathering information. It was a form of warfare. MI6, in its tussle with the KGB, played a pivotal role. It wasn't just about whose army was bigger. It was about who held the most secrets, who could whisper the deadliest truths. MI6's role in shaping geopolitical strategies was subtle yet profound.
Subtle and profound, like the art of betrayal, you mean?
Betrayal or survival, Kim? It's a thin line in our trade.
Indeed, Virginia, a thin, blurred line. Marta, your allure surely understands the seductive power of espionage. How does this resonate with your experiences?
Darling, the art of seduction and espionage intertwine like lovers in a dance. In my time, personal charm could unravel secrets no gadget could. The Cold War's espionage, it was colder, mechanical. Yet the human element remained. A whisper in the right ear, a glance holding more than mere attraction. That, my dear, never changes.
Gadzooks, this talk of intrigue and mechanical surveillance. In my day, one's word and honor were one's bond. The Cold War, it turned espionage into a chess game where people were pawns. How can one hold fast to their patriotism when the game is so murky?
Murky, Nathan, or simply the evolution of warfare. Our enemies did not play by the rules of honor, and neither could we. Every move countered with a feint, a deception.
And let's not forget sugar, the impact these operations had back home. It wasn't just about spy versus spy. It was about protecting our way of life, ensuring our freedoms weren't trampled by those red devils.
Protecting or controlling. The lines blur, don't they? Our methods, our deeds in the shadows, were they always justifiable?
Justifiable? Necessary, Kim. We did what we must to ensure security. The moral quagmire of it all, well, that's a discussion for those who've never had to face hard choices.
Choices indeed. The global chessboard demanded sacrifices, pawns and kings alike.
Sacrifices, yes. But let us not forget, in every shadow cast by a spy, there's a person, with all their complexities and contradictions.
Complexities, contradictions, and perhaps consequences. Our contributions to the art of espionage during the Cold War, for better or worse, shaped the world. Let us never forget the weight of our shadows. We now delve into the shadowy world of cryptography and signals intelligence, where MI6 broke more than just codes. They broke the will of their enemies. Virginia, your operations were deeply impacted by this, weren't they?
Indeed, Kim. In my time, the ability to intercept and decipher messages was paramount. Our foes believed their communications were impenetrable. Yet, we outfoxed them. It was not merely a game of chess. It was a shadow dance within the shadows themselves.
But let us not oversimplify. Signals intelligence did not merely serve the Allies as a silent whisperer of enemy secrets. It shaped the battlefield, redefined warfare. It was akin to acquiring the enemy's battle plans before they'd even briefed their commanders.
Resourcefulness was key. During my escapades, I may not have had the luxury of Enigma machines, but we had our ways of intercepting missives. A clever ruse or a well-placed ally often did the trick. Your gadgets and gizmos merely formalized the art of deception and intelligence.
A pertinent observation. Yet, the art evolved. It became a science. A coded message held the power to save or doom thousands. Virginia, how critical would you say was this evolution to your operations?
Without it, countless operations would have floundered in the dark. Cryptography allowed us to strike with precision, to be phantoms against whom there was no defense. It turned the tide, swaying the course of conflict by ensuring we were always a step ahead.
All this talk of gadgets and codes, yet it was the human element that often played the pivotal role, was it not? A cipher is useless without the right key, and sometimes that key was not a piece of intercepted code, but a person willing to betray secrets for a cause or a price.
Quite true, Mata. The human element remains the most unpredictable. Codes can be cracked, but human nature, loyalty, betrayal, ambition, these are variables that defy simple decryption.
A fair point, but let us not understate the catastrophe faced by those who found themselves on the wrong side of our intelligence. The cracking of Axis codes did not merely inconvenience them, it dismantled their strategies from the inside out.
This underscores the truth that the heart of espionage lies not just in the gathering of intelligence, but in its interpretation and execution. To possess information is one thing, to understand its worth and apply it decisively is another.
Precisely, Nathan. And in that, our mission was clear: turn secrets into victories. It was not the seizing of information that mattered most, but how it was wielded. In our hands, intelligence was not just power, it was victory foretold.
And so we were the unseen architects of conflict's resolution, guiding the course of history with whispers and shadows. Let us never forget, the written word, coded or not, holds dominion over the fate of nations.
Dominion, yes, but at a cost. For every code broken, a life was put in peril, a plan disrupted. The moral quandaries we navigated were as labyrinthine as the codes we deciphered.
Indeed, a somber note to ponder as we conclude this discussion. The double-edged sword of signals intelligence spares none, friend or foe. Our next segment shall tread into even darker corridors of our trade. Let's delve into the murky waters of betrayal within our own ranks. The Cambridge 5 scandal shook the very foundations of MI6. It revealed a vulnerability that many hadn't dared to imagine.
Indeed, the breach rattled the cage, showing that even the most clandestine of operations could be laid bare by those we trust. It forces us to question the very essence of loyalty. What drives a man or woman to turn on their country?
The motivations are as varied as the spies themselves: ideology, coercion, the thrill of deception. But the fallout is singular, a profound erosion of trust that destabilizes our operations from within.
Betrayal, a dance as old as time. In our line of work, trust is a commodity, expensive and rare, yet we trade it so frivolously at times. The Cambridge 5, they traded it for ideology, a supposed higher calling. Ha, the irony.
Sacrifice for one's country is noble. Betrayal, however, is a blight upon the soul. Those who betray their fellows not only endanger lives, but mock the sacrifices of those who came before. Such actions can break the spirit of an organization.
Their actions were strategic dynamite, blowing up in their faces and ours. It wasn't just about the information they leaked, it was the doubt they sowed. Trust, once broken, is nigh impossible to rebuild.
The ramifications of their betrayal went beyond immediate operational damage. It has had a lasting impact on how intelligence agencies operate, how they vet their own, how they construct the web of trust necessary to function.
It underscored the necessity for ironclad internal security measures and vetting processes that are both rigorous and ongoing. No longer can we afford the luxury of assuming loyalty.
Precisely. It also highlighted the need for counterintelligence capabilities to not just focus outward, but inward. We must watch the watchers, for the enemy within is often the most deadly.
A double-edged sword, isn't it? The more we tighten our grip within, the more we risk creating an environment of paranoia and mistrust. Yet to do otherwise is to invite catastrophe.
I wonder, though, if the true failure was not in the betrayal itself, but in our inability to foresee it. There were signs, were they not? Blinded by camaraderie, perhaps, or the arrogance that our own could do no wrong.
Arrogance, indeed. To think we are unassailable is folly. This incident, humiliating as it was, should serve as a perennial reminder. Trust is the lifeblood of espionage, but skepticism is its guardian.
A salient point to conclude on. The spectre of the Cambridge 5 looms not as a testament to our failings, but as a guidepost for vigilance, a check against complacency in the high-stakes game of intelligence. Let's delve into the digital age, its boons and banes for the craft of espionage. Belle, how do ye reckon the transition hath affected our trade?
The world has changed since my days, sending messages through the lines. Now it's all bits and bytes. Yet the essence remains. adapt or perish. We used cunning, now they use cyber skills, but it's the same old game of cat and mouse, ain't it? Indeed, Belle, the digital age ushers in a realm where shadows merge with bytes. Our tradecraft must evolve. Encryption, digital surveillance. These are the new tools. Yet the sheer volume of information poses a double-edged sword. It demands a keen eye to sift through the chaff for the wheat.
Aye, Virginia. But don't you think this digital expanse makes the art of deception all the more intricate? In my time, subterfuge was face-to-face. Now identities are but masks worn easily, shed at the click of a button.
And yet the digital age brings with it a loss of the personal, the sensual. In my days, a glance, a whisper could turn the tide. This cold digital front lacks the warmth, the human touch that could sometimes be the most potent weapon.
The digital age, however grand, cannot erase the principles of patriotism and sacrifice. Our battles are fought on different grounds, yet the heart remains the same. The digital age requires us to be more vigilant, to protect our nations from shadows that lurk behind screens.
Vigilance, indeed, Nathan. The digital age mires us in a sea of data. We navigate these waters with the same objective, to shield our realm. The threats, now more nebulous, demand we are more cunning, more resourceful than ever.
Resources, yes, but let's not forget, the digital age also brings tools to our enemies. Hackers, cyber terrorists, the lines of battle have blurred. We are not just spies, we are guardians against a tide that threatens to engulf our very way of life. Our tradecraft must adapt, but so too must our ethical compass. The digital realm is vast, and with great power comes the inevitable question of restraint. How far do we go in the name of security?
A question as old as time, Virginia. The chessboard expands, pieces multiply, but the game remains the same. It's all a matter of strategy, of knowing when to reveal and when to conceal. The digital age is but another chapter in this endless saga of shadows.
The saga continues, with each of us, willing or not, playing our part on this grand stage. The digital age presents us with unfathomable challenges, but in adversity there lies opportunity to innovate, to outwit, and to ensure that, amidst the cacophony of the digital revolution, our cause remains just, our methods sound. Let's cut into the marrow of the matter. Post 9/11 world, the game of counterintelligence gained new shadows and dimensions. MI6, as ever, needed to adapt or be left in the dust. Your thoughts?
The sacrilege of that day marked a turning of the page in our annals of freedom. A spy's life is one of devotion, and MI6's pivot towards the specter of terrorism is but a testament to our unyielding resolve. Yet I fear the methods hath evolved far beyond our simple cloak and dagger.
It's all about staying one step ahead, isn't it? In my day, swift communication could turn the tide of war. Now, with digital shadows looming over, MI6's agility is paramount. Yet amidst this technological whirlwind, do you not risk losing the human touch, the very soul of espionage? Adaptation does not necessitate loss, Belle. Incorporating new tech and methods is just evolution. MI6 remains steadfast in its pursuit, yet the digital age forces us to not only chase phantoms in the physical realm, but also battle specters in cyberspace. Our mission hasn't changed, only expanded.
Virginia speaks true. Yet let's not gloss over the constant moral quagmire. The post-9/11 world forced MI6 to tread lines even thinner than before. The question of how much liberty we compromise for security, it's a balance, teetering on a razor's edge.
And speaking of balance, collaboration with other agencies has become a delicate dance, has it not? In my day, sharing information was akin to passing a live grenade. I wonder, has MI6 fared better in this modern era of allied espionage?
Indeed, collaboration is key, but so is discernment. Trust but verify, a delicate dance, as you say, Kim. MI6 has had its share of both triumphs and stumbles in this regard, learning from past betrayals perhaps, but never quite immune to them. Partnerships are like marriages. Some are fruitful, and others are bedeviled from the start. It falls on the spymaster's wisdom to know the difference.
But let's not fool ourselves. Every agency, every country has its own agenda. Sometimes they align with ours, other times they're at loggerheads. MI6's role, above all, is to secure Britain's interests.
And thus the age-old debate persists. Do the ends justify the means? In our relentless pursuit of security, are we to sacrifice the very liberties we defend? Let us tread carefully, lest we become the tyrants we abhor.
A poignant note, Nathan. As the landscape of threat evolves, so must MI6's strategies. Yet, amidst this evolution, our core mission remains tantamount: to protect by any means necessary. Whether foul or fair, the spy's role is as crucial now as it was in our respective eras. Let's not forget, in the game of shadows, it's the unseen moves that hold the power. Right, let's dive into the murky waters of international allegiances. MI6's collaboration with other outfits, a necessary evil or a fatal flaw?
Ain't nothing murky about it. Alliances are the bedrock of any successful operation. I'd have been hogtied without the help of my contacts. MI6 knows the game. Play with others, but keep your cards close to your chest. Yet collaborating with other agencies requires a delicate dance. During my time, we relied on allies, but one always had to watch for the knife aimed at your back. Trust is a luxury we can seldom afford.
The notion of trust in this context is laughably naive. Intelligence agencies are vultures circling the same carcass. Cooperation is temporary, interests are eternal. MI6, the CIA, the KGB, bedfellows when convenient, adversaries when advantageous.
Ah, but the art of seduction lies in making the other believe the alliance is more than mere convenience, no? MI6 has played paramour to many, always with one eye open, always to serve Britannia's interest.
Serve or disserve. Such alliances are a devil's bargain. True commitment to one's country can be diluted by these entanglements. In the end, it is the nation's integrity that suffers.
Fascinating points. But is MI6 unique in its ability to navigate these alliances, or is it simply playing the same game as everyone else, albeit with a British accent?
Unique? Ha! It's the same old hoedown, just with fancier footwork. What it boils down to is resources and wits. MI6 has got both in spades, but so do their counterparts. Our success often stemmed from technological superiority and sheer doggedness. Yet one must never underestimate the power of human intelligence, the ability to read others and anticipate moves.
Technological superiority, a fleeting advantage. The real question is whether MI6's approach to alliances has prepared it for the seismic shifts in the global landscape. Is the old world order ready for the new world chaos?
Ready or not, the game evolves. And in this dance of shadows, MI6 must pirouette with grace or stumble in the dark. The future belongs to those who adapt, with or without alliances.
Adapt, yes, but at what cost to our soul? To serve one's country is noble. To entangle it in a web of deceit is another matter entirely. The ends do not always justify the means.
Well, it seems we can agree that the spy game necessitates alliances, yet our views on the morality and efficacy of such relationships remain as divided as ever. We now venture into the murky waters of ethics and accountability. Marta, your career was drenched in controversy. How do you reconcile personal moral dilemmas with the broader ethical considerations in espionage?
Ah, my dear Kim, the dance of espionage is much like the ballet. Every move calculated, every gesture significant. One does not enter the stage without accepting the darkness in the wings. To survive, one must sometimes stray from the light. It's not a question of morality, but of survival and effectiveness. In our line of work, the ends often justify the means, do they not?
I must interject. The notion that the ends justify the means is a dangerous path. Oversight is not just a bureaucratic hurdle, it's a necessity to maintain our moral compass, especially in covert operations. Without it, we risk losing ourselves and the very ideals we strive to protect.
A noble stance, Virginia. But is it practical? How do you propose we maintain this oversight without compromising the mission?
Through rigorous checks and balances, even if it means sacrificing some operational expediency. History has shown us the price of operating in the shadows without accountability. It's a breeding ground for betrayal and errors in judgment.
Speaking of betrayal, let us not forget the sacrifices made by those who remain true to their cause. The stark contrast between the dedicated and the traitors in our ranks highlights the importance of a strong moral foundation. Without it, how can one be expected to make the ultimate sacrifice?
Enlightening perspective, Nathan. Rich, your thoughts?
Oversight, morality, splendid concepts in theory, yet often malleable in the face of practical necessity. We're not philosophers musing over ethical quandaries, but soldiers on the front lines of a shadow war. Our enemy does not adhere to these lofty standards. Why handicap ourselves with them?
I reckon Rich has hit the nail square on the head. We're talking about a game where the rules are made by those with the power to enforce them. Our duty, first and foremost, is to our cause. If that means bending the rules or even breaking them, so be it. One does what one must to ensure victory. Accountability be damned. And yet, without a moral framework, what separates us from those we deem our enemies? The line must be drawn somewhere, or we risk becoming indistinguishable from the very threats we aim to neutralize.
Darling Virginia, sometimes in order to charm the snake, one must become the snake. Distinction is a luxury not afforded to those in the clandestine shadows.
A spirited debate indeed. It appears that even among legends, consensus on ethics and accountability within our vocation remains elusive. The balance between operational success and moral integrity is a tightrope we navigate, and it seems the tension between the two is as old as espionage itself. We now venture into the murky waters of the future, where the role of MI6 will be undoubted but profoundly changed. Technology, the great enabler and betrayer. Rich, your thoughts on the serpent that is technological advancement.
The serpent, you say? Ever the poetic turn, Kim. Technology is not just the serpent, it's the garden and the apple alike. It offers knowledge, power, and peril. In my day, telegraphs were the cutting edge. Now digital whispers cross the globe in the blink of an eye. MI6 must evolve or perish. Cyber warfare, artificial intelligence, these are the new fronts. The trick will be to master them without becoming subservient to the very tools we wield.
Indeed, the battleground has shifted from shadowed streets to the ethereal realms of cyberspace. But Rich, while the tools change, the essence of espionage remains constant, the human element. No matter the advancements, the need for cunning, for adaptability, for a keen mind, these are eternal. MI6's future strength will lie not in its gadgets, but in the brilliance of its operatives.
Oh, Virginia, always so noble. But let's not be naive. Technology also means more eyes everywhere. The so-called progress could strangle the life out of traditional spycraft. Where's the room for seduction, for manipulation, when machines listen to every heartbeat? The future might not have space for the likes of us.
Mata, your lament for the old ways is touching but outdated. The future of espionage, as with war, will be won by those who innovate, who think differently. You speak of seduction, I say the next realm of conquest is the digital soul. Yes, MI6 must adapt, using technology to infiltrate thoughts and loyalties. Cunning and resourcefulness will find their place in code as much as in dark alleys.
Yet in this rush towards the future, let's not forget the essence of what it means to serve one's country. Technology, for all its worth, cannot replace the valor and sacrifice of those on the ground. The heart of MI6 must beat with patriotism, no matter how the battlefield changes.
A spirited debate as always. Technology presents both a weapon and a vulnerability. The key for MI6 will lie in balancing innovation with the eternal verities of espionage, deception, loyalty, and the unending chess game between nations. The future of spycraft will indeed be fascinating, fraught with challenges that will test the very soul of MI6. As we draw this clandestine gathering to a close, let's cast our shadowy eyes toward the future. The game of nations doesn't stand still, and neither can we. Thoughts on where the art of espionage marches next?
Advancements in our tradecraft have always been spurred by necessity, the mother of invention. We're looking at a horizon where digital footprints are the new fingerprints. MI6, or any intelligence outfit worth their salt, must become masters of the cyberspace domain. Yet, the core of espionage, the human element, remains irreplaceable. Machines lack the intuition, the gut feelings that guide a field agent.
Charm and wit open more doors than the finest skeleton key. While your gadgets and gizmos evolve, the importance of human intelligence, of seduction and manipulation, stands the test of time. The future demands a dance, a balance of old and new.
Historical patterns reveal espionage's unquenched thirst for innovation. The coming era will be no different. Cryptography, once pivotal during the world wars, evolved with technology. Similarly, today's digital encryption will advance. Yet the essence of espionage lies in anticipation, predicting and manipulating geopolitical shifts. Technology is but a tool in a skilled operative's hands.
Patriotism and courage were the cornerstones of my service. They will continue to guide the future spies. Yet, the battlefield has expanded beyond physical borders. The front lines are now in cyberspace, our skirmishes hidden within data streams. The spirit remains, but the methods must evolve.
Let's not sugarcoat the path forward. It's fraught with moral quandaries and ethical mazes. The shift towards digital surveillance and AI poses threats to liberties that are hard-won. The cloak and dagger might have turned into encryption and algorithms, but the quest remains, the protection of one's homeland. Ingenuity, both in technological prowess and in the manipulation of human psyche, will define the next chapter of MI6.
Indeed, the landscape of espionage refuses to remain static, driven by the perpetual arms race of information gathering, counterintelligence, and covert operations. As we've navigated through history tonight, one thing is crystal clear. Adaptation and innovation are the only constants in the great game. History has shown us magnificent feats and perilous pitfalls of our trade. Let future operatives heed these lessons, for the stakes have never been higher.
And lest we forget, the allure of shadows will always beckon the bold. The future of espionage may be uncertain, laden with unseen challenges, yet it remains an undeniable art, crafted by those who dare to venture where others falter.
Our dialogue tonight, as tempestuous as it has been, underscores the undeniable. The realm of intelligence, its operatives, and their craft are indispensable. What shape it takes is the question for tomorrow's spies to answer.